Okay, you gotta have processes. That's how money's created. You can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. So these are some of the different classes that you guys will learn within the system. Like some of you guys have a self-directed IRA. So the government changed the law on how you can use your funds to get into real estate and do real estate investments. And the simplest thing to do is to create an LLC, move the money to the LLC, buy a piece of asset in that LLC, and then once you're done with it, move the money back to your IRA. You're not paying taxes on that, tax-free money. Okay, so instead of earning 12%, 2%, now you're earning 32% yield. Use your money. You have control to do that. It's about the knowledge, knowing about it, understanding it, having the right resources, knowing lawyers and CPAs that do this, right? They'll show you how to do it. There's a thing called an IRA checkbook. So IRA checkbook is just like a checking account. You can move your money to the IRA account and write checks on it. I mean, there's certain stipulations in terms of tax codes and stuff like that, but there's lawyers and stuff that I can give you that I use to do money. The bottom line is, none of us in here want to pay taxes. Why should we give the money 40-50% of our capital gains? If you can use the tax that's been created for us with the different tax advantages, then you shouldn't have to pay 30-40% on capital gains if you do it right. By having the right team and the right people and the right lawyers. I don't know everything. I don't do everything. I get the best people that do this. That's not my job to run these businesses. My job is to be creative. My job is to create relationships, to create money, to go out there and network. I spend $30,000, $40,000 a year traveling because I go where they are. And if you see me 5-6 times a year, you're like, hey, what's up? We have a beer. We talk and have dinner. That's how relationships are created. Okay, so IRA, you're using creative acquisition. So IRA money can be used for real estate as well as, buying non-performing funds. Like this is my fund. It's a $5 million fund. Okay, it's been registered with SEC. But again, you can use IRA money to move it here and get a higher yield. And there's a way to do that. And it's all legit. Get knowledge is power. Okay, so wholesale for quick cash. We talked about that. Get a contract, get your cash buyers, and sell it. And don't be greedy. There's a lot of wholesalers out here I've seen deals, 30, 40,000. What the hell? You know, took all the meat off the bone. You got to leave meat on the bone for the investor. You can't take all the meat off the bone. It don't make sense. I understand supply and demand in Prince George's community, DC, Maryland, Virginia, is low. There's like this many assets out there and this many investors. Everybody got cash. Everybody, the biggest thing, people with money, they hate it when it's just sitting around. Because it's costing them money to have money. If you got $100 million sitting around, it's costing you. Because if you take inflation into consideration, with the yield that you're earning, the tax, it's going to cost you money to have money. You've got to move your money. Okay, the movement of money is what creates money. The movement of money is what creates money. So once you take the money from the IRA account and you buy a house, you moved it, okay? You did what you whatever, then you moved it back. It's the movement of money that makes money. If you're just sitting there, it's going to start to stink. It's going to cost you money. You've got to move your money. So also, people with cash, people with money, they can be very arrogant. They can be stuck in themselves. They feel like they have the money, whatever. But you know what? You ain't got to be anybody. You are the entrepreneur for your business. You are the CEO of your business. You have a choice. If you don't like the demands and the terms, don't do it. But if you do it once, then he'll be like, shit, I got it. Then they're gonna beat you up again. They're gonna start taking your cash. So you have to control your expectations of the investor that has the cash. You have to control that, not them. They can't dictate to you. You got the deal. You got the fish on that hook. You can take that fish. That's where, like he was saying, if you got your cash buyers, if you don't want it, you go to her. If you don't like his terms, you keep moving. But you got to have at least 5 or 6 solid cash buyers. And so what I do is, I was hosting a deal. I told him to put up a $5,000 swing deposit. Right in the capital house. So if all these wholesalers are calling me, they're like, man, you asking me $5,000 EMD? I'm like, yeah. They're like, I never heard that. You should give $100, $200. You're the wrong guy, Flick. You're the wrong guy. I ain't about it. If you ain't got the money, you're not gonna tie my deal. Right? Why you gonna tie so? You can tie my deal, you can tie daisy chain and salary so you can make money with my deal? I'm not gonna do that. Either you got the money or you don't. Try to deal direct without daisy chain. Daisy chain can blow up the deal and will cost you money. Okay? It's happened to me before. Everything I'm saying is through experience. I'm not reading a book. These are things that I actually gone through. I've had a situation where I thought the actual buyer was the buyer. So I stopped marking the property, gave the property to him. 2 or 3 days go by, I'm like, yo, I need that bank statement. And he proof of funds. Then they dodge it, they dance around. 2 or 3 days go by, I'm like, I gotta keep moving. He wasting my time. Okay? So anyway, that deal ended up blowing up because I had a contract for 30 days and I ran out of time. Because I was dealing with the wrong person. That has happened to you? Through a daisy chain. So tell me about that. And it's your property. Yeah, that's real. That's real. I don't know anybody who's metal. That's real. That happens so much. Okay? The key is get to know your database. Have good, clean, healthy people in your database. Okay? That's why I say you get business cards, having a virtual assistant entering that into a database, and you're marketing to them, you're talking to them, you're engaging with them. You can figure out who's real and who's not. The key is to have real people that can execute. It's all about relationships. Right? All right, so what are we talking about here is accessibility. Okay. You guys, when you look at properties and you're doing the assessment value of the property, what are some of the things you guys are looking at before you determine you're going to put a contract on this asset? Like, what are some of the things you look at? The constant neighborhood. Okay. What do you look at the house? Square footage. Anybody else? What's that? Bedrooms. Anybody else?
Foundation.
What's that?
Foundation.
Foundation.
He said the house, I was going to say, potential of the neighborhood.
Potential of the neighborhood, is it declining, is it inclining? What's going on in the neighborhood? Okay. Anybody else?
That's it.
Robert?
I go to the office of planning to see what developments are coming to the area because I like to do sort of my return.
Exactly.
See.
Exactly.
Appreciation of it.
Exactly. So all these things are good. All these things are great. So here's what I do. Okay? Again, I'm going to talk about what I do so you guys hopefully learn from some of these things. So I'm a general contractor. Okay? I'm a home builder, I'm an inspector. So what I do is I inspect all the stuff that's going to cost me money. HVAC, $6,000 to $8,000. Windows, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. The roof, $6,000, $7,000. Anything that's a big ticket item. Plumbing. Look at the sewer line. How do you test the underground sewer line that goes from the house to the street? Because you know, if that's clogged or cracked, how much it costs? If you got roofs. A lot of these houses in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area are old. 100 years old, 80 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old. So cast iron pipes what was used as the primary source for your drain pipes and your plumbing and everything expires. Everything breaks eventually. Okay? So to test that, what I do is if the water's on the house, I turn all the faucets on, turn all the shower heads on. I turn every water source on at the same time. I let it run for 5-6 minutes. And then I start flushing the toilets. If things start to bubble back up and things are coming back in, you got a problem. That's a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 problem depending where it is. Okay? So deal with it sounds sweet, yeah, you get $100,000, but that's a $30,000 repair, $20,000 repair. So you have to assess the properties methodically. You got to look at every aspect of things that's going to cost. 3 windows, $300 a window. 10 windows, that's $3,000. Okay? Water heater, $1,000. Kitchen, $10,000. Bathroom, $5,000. So I can run through a house, be like, I'm going to put $45,000 in this house. Because I know where I'm going to put my money at. And so, okay, this lady's selling it for, okay, so I just got a house yesterday. In Glen Burnie, lady called me, and then she found me. Been after her for like 3 months. She finally called. So it's got a pool in the back. It's in Glen Burnie. So what I did, I called a bunch of pool experts. Say, hey, come out here and tell me what you think could be done with that. Should we fill it up? Should we bury it? You know what I mean? What do we do with that? So that's a big cost to give it a pool or to make it operable, right? So I had to take that into consideration with my acquisition costs, right? So these are the things that will come up, but this deal made sense because what I'm going to do with that pool is I'm going to bury it. I'm going to bring in 128 yards of dirt. I'm going to bury it, put some grass seeds on it, let the kids play on it. Bury it. That's the best and easiest solution. Okay? So you're going to have different things like that. So when you're assessing properties, be methodical, take your time, look at the plumbing, look at the electrical. Electrical panel is 100 amp, you got to replace it most likely. Unless they got a sub panel. So who's current in the house? Who's current? You got your furnace at who's current, right? Your lighting is who's current, your water is who's current, your stove who's current, right? Back in the day, when they built these houses, we didn't have 5-6 TVs. We didn't have all this stuff, right? Now people got multiple stuff. They got plugged into all kinds of surge protectors and shit. You know, it don't work. You have to upgrade, and that's a $2,500 job to upgrade an electrical panel. Well, the wiring is the outside wire. If that got to be replaced, that's usually like another $600-700. The outside wire that goes to the street. Oh no, that's not like putting new lights and outlets. No, that's separate. There you go. So, but then I look at the foundation, and I have a tester that I use to put against the baseboard to see how much water is behind the house in the basement. Because basement is going to get mildew, right? You get smell. So I have a tester to put up against the wall of the corners of the foundation, and if it goes too high, then I know there's too much water behind that wall there. You gotta keep in mind, in this area, go back to 1900, these lot of these homes are built on a lot of water. Okay? There's a lot of water under this earth. Okay, and then these old homes are 70, 80 years old. Believe me, you're going to eventually have issues. Because water will always find. Always. All right? Just like the Noah's Ark. That's God with it. Right? All right, so how to do real estate financial investment analysis. Again, square footage, comps, CMAs, look at the neighborhood, look at MRIs. Zillow and Trulio, as you guys know, the merger, right? Zillow bought Trulio. So now, Zillow's, I think MRIs is suing Zillow or something because they're trying to open up a code, right? To Zillow and anything like that. So we'll see what happens there. But if that happens, that's going to eliminate a lot of real estate agents. Okay? It's going to eliminate a lot of real estate agents. One of the things, I have a real estate brokerage. The thing about a real estate brokerage, they're going out of business. Why? Go back 20 years. If you traveled somewhere, you would travel anywhere, you had to call a travel agent. Right? Hey, you know, you should take us to Egypt, whatever. Hotel and all that. Today, with Priceline and Expedia, travel bars, you don't need a travel agent. You make your own plans. Right? And then now, if you look at real estate, most mom and dads that are looking to buy, they do their own analysis. They drive the neighborhood. They drive at nighttime. They drive on the weekends. They look at the crime. They look at the noise. They look at the traffic. Most buyers have control today. They can go on Google and Zillow and get an idea. Is this neighborhood declining? Is it inclining? How's the crime? Is it red? Like on Truly, it's a 2. If it's red, that means it's high crime. If it's green, it's a good neighborhood. So these tools are available on Trulio and Zillow, you just gotta use them. Okay? So that's one of the things I look at. But also, like Robert said, you want to look at what the government is doing. Is there a new metro station coming? Is there a Whole Foods? Is there Heritage? What's coming into the neighborhood that's going to allow the appreciation to happen? Like New Carrollton. New Carrollton has a massive project coming down there at the New Carrollton metro station. You guys aware of that? You aware of it? What do you know about it?
I read all the time, especially on the projects, newspaper, internet.
Right.
It's not a secret.
It's not a secret. Nothing I'm saying is a secret, man. It's free stuff. You just got to apply yourself. So, Prince George's Community Master Plan, you guys can Google this. The master plan is 2035. So the purple line is coming here. What does transportation do? It creates movement. What does movement do? It creates spending, right? Economic growth. So you guys want to be in these particular areas, find out where they are. It's all free. It's on the government websites. Position yourself. So, how to find it? Once you get the deal, the bank will give you the money. People will, I'll give you money. I do hard money lending. I do hard money lending. So I'll deal with hedge funds out of California. So if the deal makes sense, I know how to qualify the deal. I know how to put some BS deal for the real deal. If it makes sense, I'll give you the money. You got the money. You just got to find the deal. Look at the neighborhoods. Okay? Investment analysis, time value of money. How long is it going to take me to get a yield on my money? It's going to be 3 months. It's going to be 3 years. It's going to be 3 to 6 months. You got to look at all these things. Because nobody wants to get the money tied into a deal for like 12 months. Get in, get out. The movement of money is what makes money. Any questions? You guys can ask questions. You got questions? Anytime. Okay, so finding the funds for your deals, we talked about this. I can give you a source of like 20 different hard money lenders. I can give you a source like AAPL, American Association of Private Lenders in Kansas City. So I was at their conference last year, okay? If you go to their website, you can download, it's a free tool, you can download all the hard money lenders in this area. All the hard money lenders in this area. And in all their members, California, everything like that. So the money is there, you just gotta get the deal. All right, negotiate, close the deal. What that means is, look, real estate is all about negotiation. Life is about negotiation, right? So my wife is like, all right, you make the bed, I'll make the coffee. All right, okay. It's all negotiating days, negotiating stuff. It's not always numbers or deals, but you're always negotiating. So if you get a property under contract and you did a rehab and you're selling it, most buyers are going to ask you, hey, give me help, $5,000 help, $10,000 help for my closing costs. You don't have to do it. That's what they're asking for. So, okay, I'll give you this, but you got to give me this. I'll give you this. So if I give you something, you're going to give me something back. I'm not going to keep giving and giving and giving. It ain't going to happen like that. I'll give you this, so you always ask for something back. And the thing about closing the deal, if you got enough meat on the bone and there's numbers, close that deal. Get your money, go to the next deal. Don't get stuck in the deal. The movement of money is what's going to create money. You do 5, 10 of these things, don't get stuck in the deal. So what? You give up 10,000, you still make it 20. Go to the next deal. Keep moving. You got to close the deals. I learned about the paperwork. Okay, so most of you guys don't need to know all this stuff. You just got to have the right people that know this stuff. I don't expect you guys to know all of this. You got to have the right team. You got to have real estate agents. If you got the right real estate agent, they know how to do the paperwork. But you got to have the right people. You just got to know what you want. If you're very clear what you want and what you need, and you got the right resources, it's all about delegating. It's delegation that, as an entrepreneur and a CEO, Bill Gates, all these massive people, they delegate, they have a team. And they have accountability, and they have measurables. They see who did the work and who didn't, and they hold people accountable and fire people. Okay? So you got, again, you don't need to know everything. Just got to have the right people, the right team. All right, understand these outcomes, the impact of transaction due diligence. So basically what that means, like, okay, so we bought some notes in Florida. We bought non-conforming notes in Florida. So the first thing we do is when we buy non-conforming notes from hedge funds and banks, we look at it, we do our due diligence on it. We determine is it vacant, is it occupied, are the homeowners still living there, did they move, did they abandon the property? And you guys, listen, you can't buy real estate in other states. You don't have to be stuck by any DC, Maryland, Virginia. Okay? And there's ways to do that, and I can show you that. So, just to take an asset in Florida, we went through due diligence, we got the agent from REMAX, having to go out and do a BPO. And then we do what they call it's an AD report. So that means we get 3 BPOs from 3 different sources. So the REMAX guy, the Coldwell Banking guy, that way 3 different people look at it. So now we have more data to analyze. He may do one, but he may miss something. You do it, and I see it on your report. So we try to, because we look at these assets that our states and stuff like that do due diligence, you want to have as much data as possible. So you can, because everything is a risk. There's no guarantees. Everything's a risk. I can go out and hit my car now. There's no guarantees. You just got to take advantage of what you have. Right? So analyze the data and understand the due diligence process. Again, use the source to create a team and get the education. Once you get the education and you understand the education, you go through the process, it'll become real. It'll start to sink in. Because I'm sure you guys did like 10, 20 of these events in the area. The difference that I like about RENATUS education from like Sherman and Kenneth Gill, Charles, and all these different people is college course curriculum. It is structured. There's a framework. There's accountability. There's testing. You cannot go to the next module until you pass 101. And it's very controlled. And it's less money than what those guys are charging. They charge you $3,000, $1,500. I've talked with them. I know all these guys right here. So this is a totally different type of education. All right, so how to do rehab? So most people, they have an idea. They have a good idea about doing rehab. All right, anybody don't know anything about rehab at all? Rehab? Anybody did rehab here? So the key to rehab is having a good team, good contractors, having the money, and then staying on top of your job, having some sort of process and tools to make sure you manage your timelines. So if the windows are supposed to be delivered on April the 20th, you make sure the windows are delivered April the 20th. Okay? If the staging company is supposed to come on April the 13th, you make sure that happens. So you can just manage the job from the overview by having the right people in place. Okay? So what I do when I do a rehab, I don't give my job to one general contractor. I separate everything. So if you're the electrician, you're going to work on electrical work. If you're the plumber, you're going to work on plumbing. You're going to work on HVAC, roofing, drywall. That way, you do your job, you get out and get paid. You get out, jobs moving around. And what I found in experience, I'll give a job to one guy, hell no. It will go over, it will run over. He will go out and get amigos from Home Depot and put them to work like they eat an opportunity. He uses my tools and drive off to Home Depot. You gotta have specialists. And it will cost you money when you become, cheap. Or when you just look at price rather than value. You have to look at value rather than price. Okay, I asked the contractors to show me their license, current insurance. Okay? Then I don't pay them everything up front. I buy the materials because I know what I need to buy. Right? And get the materials there. Then they do the labor work. You get paid when it's done. Now, what I do with my electricians and plumbers, you're going to have a final inspection when the buyer buys the house, and they go final inspection. So they go around and say something outlets are loose, the ground wires loose, or the plumbing is something wrong. I invite my company to come back and fix it. Because they did the work. So if the inspector finds like 10 things wrong with the house, then they have to come back and fix it and get the final payment. So you have to control the situation, not allow them to control you. And believe me, there's a lot of contractors out here. Okay, there's a lot of them. But the key is to find the right one by making sure they're licensed, they're ethical, they have a business. Look them up. Look at the court records. Go to the picture of the community court records, see how many times they're sued. Right? Check them out. Now, do your due diligence. That will just give people money. But check them out. Look at the Marriott DIL website. See if they have any complaints against their license. If they have been fired or sued, different things like that. So you want to deal with good professionals. Yeah, it's going to cost you money, but it's going to save you money because it's the time value of money is what matters. How fast can I get my money back? Right? Use the wrong contract, it's going to take you maybe next 30 days. And if you use the hard money, and if you're running out of your hard money time, now the hard money after you talking about the house. Now you're going to lose the whole thing by dealing with wrong contractors. Well, what I'll do is I'll have an open house. So you do an open house Tuesday from 10 to 2, and you invite the contractors out. So I can have the electricians come, and I can have the plumbers come, and I'll get 2 or 3 different bids and find out, well, are you working on the jobs? When can you start? Where's your license? Not telling them to act. Bring your license, bring this, bring that. All right, so, and then like I said, we provide money, so we charge 1% a month at 4 points. Is what we charge. and it's 12 months. You got 12 months to get the deal done, to get it sold, and it's 1% a month. So what that means, if you get the house done in 4 months, you pay 4% and 4 points, which is cheap. It's cheap. If you get it done in 12 months, then you'll pay 12% and 4 points. So it's up to you, if you have the right team, you got the right process, you can get these houses done in 2 months, 3 months. Believe me, I've done it. So it's having the right people and the right team, and then moving the money. For points, like, so if you get a $100,000 loan, so it's 4 points, $4,000, so 1 point of 20%. Percent.
The points also are 1%.
Oh,
Two ways.
okay.
And
Okay, got it.
remember, just who has the goal.
All right, so, what we learned, we talked about hiring contractors and managers. The 5 common mistakes in property analysis is people don't, number one mistake is people don't take the time to do the property analysis. Sometimes I go back 2 or 3 times, because I don't really want to look at this. Because you're talking about real money. You're talking about real money. And if your numbers are off 10, 15,000, that can blow the whole deal. Okay, so you have to invest time and look at these things. And then I invite other people because I don't know everything. So I tell other people, like I have an inspector friend of mine, Joe, he tears things apart. I said, Joe, go look at that property for me. Then I get his perspective on it, I go look at it. So you got to get a couple eyes on it sometimes. Yeah, it may cost you money, but the thing is, Joe may catch something that I didn't catch. It could be a $3,000 mistake. So you got to get a couple eyes on the property. If you got friends, and sometimes I take my wife, I say, hey, listen, if I knock this wall down, and I move the stove on this side because the window's here, so you think about designs and ideas of the house, right? You got to take that into your demolition costs and hauling trash on that. But also restructuring the house. Because sometimes you got windows, and you got this wall in the middle, so natural light is important. Right? So sometimes I go there like 6, 7 in the morning to see which side the sun's coming up. Just to see how the lights will come in, because lighting is very important. And then also apartment buildings, self-storage, commercial shopping centers, non-performing mortgage notes, how to get with asset managers and banks. This is more advanced stuff. It's possible, all you guys can do it. I can show you how to do it. It ain't that hard. I can show you how to do it. I mean, I'm doing it. And I was where you was where like 5 years ago. I didn't know that. I didn't know all of this stuff. But until I started networking and meeting people, talking to them, doing things, I made mistakes. I lost money. I made money. I also lost a lot of money too. But you got to do it to experience and make sure it's expert. So in the RENATUS bigger package, they'll talk about all these different things in here in terms of how to get into more the larger $25, $10 million type transactions and that kind of stuff. How many of you guys interested in learning about that? I know he is, but anybody else? Apartment buildings, commercial, self-storage. I'm going to tell you, self-storage, man, you can make a lot of money with self-storage. Think about it. You got a big old building, okay? And some of them are like air conditioning control, climate control. People come in, going out, you charge them, and if they don't pay their money, what happens? You take this up. I built 2 self-storage buildings. So believe me, it don't cost that much to build them, and you can have this stuff in 10 to 15 years.